Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Saffron Honey Chai. Now, what's the number one thing no one wants to hear? What's something we all hate hearing? No. That's my least favorite word to hear. Why are you telling me no? Why are you saying that we can't do this? What's not clicking? What's the problem? Rejection is extremely hard to manage because we're having such a good time. And then here we go. No. Oh, thanks so much for your application, but we've chose to go in another direction. You did an internal hire and you knew it. You were wasting time and resources. You wasted everybody's time with those interviews. Don't piss me off. But we all have to deal with no from basically birth. We have to hear no. No, don't do that. No, don't put your hand on the stove. You're going to burn yourself. No, don't run into the street. And a lot of those no's are very good, healthy no's. Some of those things you definitely want to hear a no for. You definitely need to hear the no for. Otherwise, you're going to learn a very painful lesson. You know, shout out to all my fellow people who used to touch the stove as kids. I hate that we had to learn that lesson. Ow. But in adult life, rejection can be a little different because in some instances, it can be better, but it can also be worse. So if you're really hoping to get a job and you did all 6 rounds of interviews and you know, traveled to Mordor to take the one ring that rules us all. And you're like, I did it. We're going to be able to get this job. And they say, oh, we're so sorry. We decided to go another direction after 6 interviews. And then you did the practical interview. You even met with HR. It's like, what is this? What kind of sick game are you playing here? We basically moved in together and no, it can feel so frustrating and irritating because it'd be one thing, no after the first interview, okay? That's fair. You didn't like my vibe, I get it. But no after rounds and rounds and rounds and like you got practical work, that's too much. Or even in dating, you spend a lot of time together, you like each other a lot. 6 months in, it's like, oh, I just don't like where this is going. You could have disliked it 3.5 months ago. Like, please, let's be more timely with our no's. But I also think it can be hard for us to say no. So when you have to tell someone no, a lot of times, I mean, at least some of the people I speak to on a regular basis, they like struggle with it. They hate to say no. It's like, oh, it feels so mean and evil. But it's not bad to say no. It's bad to belabor the no. It's very bad to belabor the no because everyone wants to feel seen, heard, respected, and that safe, gorgeous feeling of community. But when you spend so much time trying to protect someone's feelings, like sort of hemming and hawing about it, then it becomes, oh, so you think I'm a fool. It becomes something totally different when it could have just been a no. And I'm not entirely sure of how we're supposed to manage that because there's so many shifting sands these days. There's our political climate right now, our economic climate right now, and the state of dating in the world today, which no one's really winning. So if you're out there and you're not single, I'm so happy for you. If you had gotten the Nobel Peace Prize, I would be less impressed than getting yourself out of the dating field before it's like this. Because it's just riddled with like heartache and rejection and just, oh, well, I'm not too sure anymore. I don't know where I see this going. And I'm hearing people say this after they were together with someone for 7 years. You're not sure what's going on after 7 years. That's 2 presidential terms just about. You're not sure where you're going after 2 presidential terms. Thank God you've never been in charge of anything. But it's because everyone wants to sort of have their options around. So they don't reject you or they don't give you that no, which in many ways can be the protection for yourself. They don't give you that because they still want the access. So you say no earlier in order to keep everyone feeling respected and to respect yourself. Because if you hold on to something too long and you're like, oh, I'm just not sure. If you're not sure, that is internally a no. If you feel nervous about it, that is also internally a no at times. You have to understand about yourself where your limits are. Do I like this? Am I interested in that? How much can I tolerate of this particular behavior? Because if you just drag it on for months and years, and then eventually it's like, yeah, I just never really saw this going anywhere. Not only have you made a terrible mistake for yourself because you could have been doing things that you like instead of that, you also put this other person in a very painful position because typically, if someone wants to be around you or wants to be working with you, they start to build up a really positive view of you in their mind. And they hold you a bit close. Even just as coworkers or as potential coworkers, they're like, oh, I really like Shelly from HR. I feel like we're gonna get along so great. I can't wait to do little coffee runs with her. And then Shelly from HR, who was gonna be the one to have to make the hiring decision because she's the hiring manager, now she's saying, well, we just realized you weren't the best fit. But you knew that by interview two at the latest. There's no way you got on the onboarding. You got damn near to onboarding. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. And, there's things that happen in all spheres of life. Okay. Sometimes you think, okay, we're going to be able to carry on with this. And then, unfortunately, you have no choice but to realize, I was wrong. And the best thing to do is just cut the losses like immediately. As soon as you realize what's going on, you have to say something, you have to do something. Please, you can't just let it linger. You can't hold on to it forever because when you hold on to something you're not supposed to hold on to, it's not good for anyone. It's not good for the person. It's not good for you. Especially because at a certain point, you're kind of people pleasing. Especially in personal relationships, like, oh, someone you don't want to be friends with, but you still hang out with them even though you don't want to be their friend. Bessie, why would you do that? If you don't want to be their friend, why are you engaging in this kind of shenaniganry? Do something you actually like instead. Like, if you think that Kelsey's annoying and you've never liked her and you don't want to be around her, but you just feel bad for her, that's not doing Kelsey any favors. Kelsey is unlikable to you. She feels it. She feels that you're a little weird with her. But she's like, well, I love her anyway, so maybe she just loves me anyway. But you don't love Kelsey. You just don't want her to feel bad because that would make you feel bad. But feeling bad is just part of life. You don't have to feel bad forever, but you're definitely going to feel bad for way longer if you string her along. And now Kelsey's crying, tears falling down her face, big snot bubbles coming out her nose. And you did that. You could have told Kelsey early on, I don't think I want to hang out with you anymore. You did something weird at Chili's. I didn't like that. You could have cut this off way earlier. And now she's crying snot bubbles in the parking lot and everyone's looking at you like, oh my God, why would you do that? And why would you do that? You could have told her no. You could have said no. And that's why I have to say that rejection is definitely protection. You have to hold up your no and you have to accept outside no's, external no's, because maybe that door is closed for a reason. Maybe the door is closed because there's toxic waste behind it. Maybe the door is closed because it's a dangerous situation. And maybe the door was closed to you because you don't do crack and they do. So be joyful and accepting of no's when you receive them and be a little more free with no's from yourself. You can't say yes to everything. I know I've been saying, oh, try new things, put yourself out there, but know your limits. No is important, no is good, and no is very special. So please, Say no. Even to me. I mean, I would prefer if you didn't, but even to me, you must say no. Don't do anything you don't want to do because you have to make your life a life that you want to live. And when I say don't do anything you don't want to do, I realize some of you are going to take that and say, yes, I can do whatever I want. I don't mean that. I mean, just do things that are good and beneficial. Don't become a selfish megalomaniac because that's going in a whole other direction of badness. And with that being said, say no today. We'll see you next time. Or not. Bye. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Even if you didn't, comment section's right there for you to let me know. Rain or shine, like or dislike. It all helps me out to know what the audience is responding to, and it also helps the YouTube algorithm to know. If you hate me, such is fate, but if you like me, please share it with me. I would love to know. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and don't be afraid to look in the description.